The housing market collapse is here. We're going to see it happen in 2025 and 2026. We're going to see it happen on a level that we have not seen since back in 2008. A lot of people say that there is no subprime mortgages, so it's impossible to have a 2008 level scenario. FHA loans are already our 2025 version of subprime. FHA loans require you only to put 3.5% down. They allow a lower credit score. It's subprime mortgages. Over 16% of all FHA mortgages are already delinquent right now. We have millions and millions of people that went and bought multiple Airbnbs at valuations that they are not sitting there anymore. And Americans are strapped right now. The average American has $7,200 of credit card debt. The average American has $8,200 in negative equity in their auto loan. Right now, we are sitting at 12% delinquency on $1.2 trillion of credit card debt. All of these numbers that I'm telling you are numbers we have not seen since back in 2008.
Stop lying. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Robert here. For those that are new, you're in for the truth. That's all we do here, but we do so respectfully. If that is the type of information that you seek for, you're in the right place. Moreover, if anything that you see that I missed or that you disagree with, make sure you get down in the comment section and let us know, because that's how we all get better. Number two, I'm a lender. I help folks simplify the home loan process. So if you're anywhere in these United States and you're looking to get on the property ladder with a single family, duplex, triplex, or fourplex, or if you already own one of those types of properties and you're looking to tap into your equity for investment purposes, so on and so forth, I'm your guy. My contact information will be pinned in the top comment and the description below. Now, back to this young man. I get it. You're looking for attention. That's the flavor of the day. It seems like everybody's talking about the sky is falling. Don't get me wrong. In certain markets, there's some slowdowns and things of that nature, but you're being disingenuous either intentionally or you just don't know what you're talking about. The first thing that I want you to know as a potential home buyer is it's scary out here. There's job layoffs. Home prices are up. Insurance costs are up. Taxes are up. It's just up across the board. As I say to you today and in videos in the past, home ownership is great if you can afford it. If you can't afford it today, no harm, no foul. We don't need to poo-poo the idea of home ownership. Or if you're someone that says, hey, home ownership is not for me, that's fine as well, because that's the spice of life. We all don't have to do the same thing. But we can't say that it's not a benefit, because it is. And so with that said, whenever you're seeing a lot of these folks online, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, are they trying to get monetized? And is this the way they're trying to make money? Okay. Got to ask yourself that question. Secondly, it's incumbent upon you to do some research, to go beyond what I'm saying or anybody else is saying online, to make sure that what we're saying matches up. Because if you miss an opportunity, like a lot of you have over the last 5 years, listening to this doom and gloom, these folks, they don't care. They're making money. It's business. He said FHA loans are the new subprime. I call boulder dash on that. We're going to get the definition of what a subprime loan is. Number two, he gave some stats on FHA delinquencies. I'm going to show you a place where you could go to see what the FHA delinquencies really are. Moreover, I'm going to show you a website that would validate his claims. If we had all of these foreclosures, they would show up in the REO section of where HUD sells those properties. And we're going to focus on the state of Texas because they love running to Austin. There was a correction going on in Austin, and all of the talking heads, they're Austin and Florida. That seems to be the two that they're jumping on now. So we're going to go into those claims to see if he is being honest or not. Let's check it out. Okay, first place we want to go is, let's get a definition. Let's define what a subprime mortgage is. So you could just go to your browser of choice and it'll suffice. But a subprime mortgage is a type of home loan offered to borrowers with a low credit score. That's not a subprime loan. During 2003 to about 2007, those were subprime loans. Number one, there were liar pants on fire loans, meaning folks were just stating their income. It was crazy. Okay. Number two, there were a lot of adjustable rate mortgages. So you had people lying about the income that they were not making. And then there were adjustable rate mortgages that were set up called 327s, 228s, where people with bad credit, bad behavior, bad credibility were able to get into homes after having lied about income, didn't have it. As a result of what happened in 2008, we got something called Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act enacted in 2010. And so it's just a U.S. federal law designed to reform the financial system and protect consumers in the wake of the 2007-2008 financial crisis. It says it significantly altered financial regulations by addressing issues like systemic risk, consumer protection, and bank oversight. And so qualified mortgages were one of those things because he mentioned subprime. So the reason that these loans today are not subprime is anybody that got into a home, FHA, VA, USD, conventional, after 2013, you have to qualify. Credit scores are a lot better overall. Average credit score is like 715. I'm going to show you here in a minute. You have to show the ability to repay. You got a job. Folks aren't lying and things of that nature. So a lot of this stuff that you're hearing is fear mongering because they're influencers trying to get a check. Another thing he mentioned were the credit scores. The average credit scores for home buyers in 2025 is generally around 715. And that's based on FICO data, not Credit Karma and all these other places. FICO, Fair Isaac Credit Offer Rate. Not offer rate, but corporation. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something else. So these are FICO scores. You're missing the opportunity because folks are buying, and now is the time to buy. When inventory is starting to rise, it's becoming more a buyer's market. You buy for certain reasons because real estate is a long-term play. And just based upon 2019 to now, there's been opportunities that have been missed because now you guys are thinking that there's going to be this huge correction in prices where the median is going to go from 430 wherever it is back to 2019 prices under 200,000, and it ain't going to happen because there's a shortage of homes. Even with the increase of inventory, we're still nowhere near the demand that's pent up because the millennial cohort is bigger than the baby boomers. And trust and believe, these rates, if they just dip under 5, if there were all these foreclosures, which there aren't, they would get sucked up if the investors didn't get to them first. I digress. I get excited. Let me go back. So now he mentioned delinquencies, okay? This is the mortgage delinquency increase slightly in the first quarter of 2025. And this is the Mortgage Bankers Association. You can also go to HUD and look at this same information. There were mixed results for the mortgage performance in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the fourth quarter of 2024. Delinquencies on conventional loans increased slightly. Mortgage delinquencies on FHA and VA loans declined. Okay, they declined, said this vice president, right? And so let's just look at this chart here. Nice, pretty chart, because this is going to make some of the points that I was making earlier. See, we're way back here, 2007, 2008. Here's the legend. Conventional is red. I guess this is blue for FHA. VA is purple. So let's look. FHA, 2008 to 2012. Look at these numbers. See, we had a run up of foreclosures or inventory, and that's why there was some of the pricing had fallen as far as the values are concerned because supply and demand. There was a ton of supply coupled with the big recession, job loss, things of that nature. We're nowhere near any of those variables. Across the board, VA, FHA, conventional, or all loans total, look at they're up. So now let's fast forward. I said 2019. Okay, this is before the situation that we all went through. But see, it's a declining slope. So if you just look at 2019 FHA, we're nowhere where we were even at that time. So this is what I'm saying, guys. We all want a confirmation to what we want to believe, but you owe it to yourself to do some research. If you're going to invest, really invest. You can't do it every once in a while, and when it feels good, you got to do it all the time. And hopefully you do all those things. But the home has utility. You get to use it. If you're growing a family, if you create a household, you can house hack if you can handle that, right? Instead of having an apartment, but it has to have a purpose. Folks, if they downsize, you can get a smaller home. There's a reason to buy a home. You're taking advantage of a job opportunity. It's not options. And you buy at the wrong time, right? And then you have to sell in 2 years, and you're going to realize those losses because you probably bought at the wrong time, okay? Because you can buy at the wrong time, and now is the right time, and all of you guys are talking about hold on. But anywho, I digress. One last thing. If we had all of these foreclosures hit the market, you have institutional investors. I know 3 groups of personally myself, and they're not the big guys, but they've come together and they got a couple $2-3 million, and they're waiting on opportunities. They keep asking me all the time, hey, you got anything to say? You know anybody? So you guys have to get prepared so that you can get a home, because all the things that I just aforementioned, this is what I was going to say. They keep talking. Let's go Austin. That's Travis County. Travis, Travis, Travis County. They always mention Austin, right? Now this is FHA. And this might not be a good, I'll do another. I'll go up to Tarrant County around Dallas because they mention that as well. But there's a lot of conventional loans in Austin. A lot of those folks that came from the coast, they paid cash for those houses. All right. So we're not even talking apples to apples. All right. But anything under 300,000 in Austin is really competitive. And there is more housing, new stock inventory. And if you're smart, you got to pick the right builder, because a lot of these homes ain't what they used to be as far as quality is concerned. But you could get a good rate, but it's not free. They're adding it to the purchase price. So I say all that to say this. If you're not going to be in there 8, 9, 10 years, you're going to find yourself having to borrow money. I did a video on that 2 videos back where the young lady bought a home, her and her husband, and they got all of these incentives that aren't incentives because they bake it into the price of the home. And then they have to sell. So now they're upside down, and they had to take a loan, but they were willing to do so. That's how those things happen. But let me do Bexar County. That's San Antonio. That's a little more applicable. So there's 21 properties in Bexar County that's for sale by HUD, right? Let's go Tarrant County. There's this guy online. He's always talking about Tarrant County, and there's 600 foreclosures. Well, if there were, they should be on this list, sir, for sale. There's 7. Okay. One more. Let's just do the whole state of Texas. Texas, the state of Texas. As big as Texas is, there's 126 properties for sale by HUD that have been foreclosed and are back on the market. And then look at some of these prices. You guys are tripping. You better quit listening to the doomers if you really want to buy, and get with someone that you know, like, and trust after you've done your research, and get prepared, because there's opportunities out here for you to get a good deal in that you don't have to come out of your pocket. This is how you can get on the property ladder. Let's move forward.
Nobody can predict a housing market crash. Anybody that says that they know that the housing market is going to crash and that we're about to see the worst housing market collapse in history is just fear-mongering, and they're just looking to get likes and clicks.
People keep saying the housing market is going to crash like it did in 2008. This isn't 2008. It's not even close. Back then, banks were handing out loans like candy. Didn't have a job? Didn't matter. Bad credit? Who cares? People were getting home loans without even proving their income. They called them liar loans for a reason. When you give loans to everyone, demand goes higher, the supply goes lower, home prices explode, eventually crashing. All that bad lending stuff is gone. No more sketchy loans. No zero down deals with no strings attached. The rules are just way stricter now. They have been for nearly 15 years. Plus, way more people today actually have equity in their homes. Lots of equity, a ton. They're locked into super low mortgage rates. And oh yeah, 40% of homeowners own their homes free and clear, no mortgage. There's not enough homes out there, and there's not enough being built. We're seeing a correction in some markets, but a big crash is unlikely. Let's stop comparing today to 2008. Totally different world, totally different rules, totally different market.
So I just wanted to end the video with two different perspectives from some elder statesmen. So you guys just don't think I'm tripping. The old man is tripping. Uncle Rob's tripping. You don't understand. No, man, it's not the same game. And we just don't want you to be hoodwinked and bamboozled. In closing, if you're serious about becoming a homeowner and you want to do it right, what I admonish you to do is get prepared. Because when opportunities present themselves, that's not the time to do so. So get with the lender that you know, like, and trust. Get properly approved. Know your numbers. Be ready to pounce when opportunity comes. I wish you all well. Take care of yourself. And until the next time, we'll talk to you soon.